left arm out and said, no, not today.
One of the greatest doing it. History will admit.
First Take is presented by Kingsford.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to First Take, and happy Labor Day to you all on this holiday weekend. I'm Roz Goldon-Woode, filling in for Molly Kiram. I'm here with Damian Woody and Marcus Spears as well, joining us. Guys, for today's debates, we kind of got a battle of the big men. Offense versus defense?
Yeah, we got that one-on-one. We got that. Hey, he know what time it is. One-on-one. Ain't no avoiding nothing.
All the smoke.
You want
all the smoke today.
I want all the smoke, too. Let's go then.
All right, well, let's bring it on. Let's get right to it, okay? Because conversations between Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys have been hot and cold, and more noticeably, extremely public. According to Adam Schefter, talks between Zeke and the Cowboys are intensifying, with both sides aiming to wrap up a new deal this Labor Day weekend. A Week 1, September 8th matchup with the Giants looms near, and owner and general manager Jerry Jones said after his team's final preseason game on Thursday that he was operating as though right now he's going to miss regular season games. So first up, Marcus, who's under the most pressure right now? Is it Zeke or the Cowboys?
It's Zeke, and it's for obvious reasons. Listen, in the beginning, the foundation of this whole conversation, when we start talking about Zeke and a new deal, everybody has to remember the fact that the Cowboys absolutely does not have to give Zeke a new contract. So any gesture of giving Zeke new money is a good faith gesture based on the things that he's done for this football team. So Zeke is under pressure. If Zeke doesn't get paid and doesn't show up, you know who loses? Zeke. He can't get a contract for the next 3 years. So he's under the most pressure. He's operating under the fact of what every football player has to operate under, and that is, I've produced, I've been successful, I'm a big part of the success for this football team. But when we get down to the foundation of it, when we get to the bottom of this whole conversation, I was just in Dallas with Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones and a couple goats by the name of Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt has a little history in dealing with the Cowboys front office and trying to get a deal with running backs. This is a good faith gesture to make Zeke one of the highest paid running backs because they absolutely don't have to.
Listen, man. Listen. First of all, I couldn't disagree with you more in this particular situation. Here's why. We know that the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most uniquely constructed teams in the National Football League around a running back. Marcus, you and I both know what Zeke does for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, he's one of the premier running backs who's running the football, catching balls out of the backfield, protecting Dak Prescott. But you also know what he does on the football. You know what else he does for that team? He protects that defense. Since 2016, they've played the least amount of snaps in the league. So while we, rave about Jalen Smith and Landon Van Der Esch, those boys staying fresh all because of one guy, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. Listen, we know that this Dallas Cowboys team right now is probably the best Cowboys team since the 90s with the triplets in Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. So you know that Jerry Jones is probably feeling his football mortality right now. Now, we know Big Bank beats Little Bank any day. We know that Jerry Jones is a billionaire and he could wait him out. He could stall him out. But as far as football is concerned, this might be his best opportunity to win a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. And the only way you're going to do it right now is you got to have, your best player in the fold from Week 1. Because you have two divisional opponents right out the bat with the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. Don't mess around and have the Dallas Cowboys lose right off the bat to divisional opponents. You don't think there'll be smoke down there in Dallas? Heck yeah, there's going to be smoke down there in Dallas if you don't have Zeke in the fold.
Wood, I love when I get you right where I want you. Like this.
Go ahead.
What you just said.
Talk to me.
What you just said is so beautiful. Didn't the Cowboys go one round before the NFC Championship without Zeke on the roster? When Romo and they were in Green Bay and was Dez catch or not? You know what else they had on that team? They had a 1,000-yard rusher. It wasn't Zeke Elliott. You know, when I played and we went to the playoffs, they had a 1,000-yard rusher on that team as well by the name of Marion Barber and DeMarco Murray. And you know what they did? They let both of them go. Here's the deal, bro. We're not talking about Zeke's transcendent talent. We're not talking about if he helps the Cowboys win. All of those things are a misnomer. But when you talk about pressure, the pressure is on Zeke because Zeke wants more money. You know who got the money? The Dallas Cowboys got the money. And they don't have to give it to him. I don't care how important he is to the football team. They do not have to give him a dime. And he's going to lose 2 to 3 years of the opportunity to go play somewhere else and make more money. This is a no-brainer. I know you talking about football, but we talking about who has the most pressure to get a deal done. It's Zeke because they don't have to give it to him.
But you know what else you talked about since you said that you lulled me to sleep and I put you in the right position? Guess who else they had on that team? They had Tony Romo. Is Tony Romo better than Dak Prescott? Absolutely. Okay, so we all know for Dak Prescott to ultimately be the successful quarterback that he needs to be, who does he need to have in the backfield? He needs to have Zeke Elliott. That's the cog that make this whole engine go. So, yeah, I appreciate you using that example of, the Dallas Cowboys, making it one round further, but you forgot to neglect about Tony Romo and who's the better quarterback in this situation.
Or maybe Dak needed Amari Cooper. Or maybe Dak needed a healthy O-line. Travis Frederick wasn't playing as well. Maybe the running backs for the Dallas Cowboys can have success by group instead of just having Zeke individually. Again, we're not talking about talent. We're talking about who's under the most pressure. Everybody keeps talking about, Dallas is going to be a Super Bowl contender if they get Zeke in the building. I agree with you. Players make teams better, but under the most pressure, Ezekiel Elliott. The Cowboys are going to suit up, and they're going to get ready to play this first game against the Giants, whether Zeke is there or not. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to pay every player on their roster to do their job. Zeke is under the most pressure, man. This is a no-brainer. He does not have to get paid, Woody. He holds no cards.
Marcus, and Damian as well. Okay, so pressure aside, let's talk talent, Marcus. Let's talk about it. Is Ezekiel Elliott the best running back in the league? Does he deserve to be the number 1 paid running back in the league? Speak your truth.
Go ahead, Woody.
Well, I've said from the beginning, I think Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league. I think. So
does he deserve to be the number 1 paid running back?
No, because in this particular situation, listen, Ezekiel Elliott he still has 2 years left on his deal. So I think in this particular situation, there's got to be some give and take in this particular situation if you're Zeke Elliott. You can't expect to beat Todd Gurley's deal when you got 2 years left. No question about it. No, hold on. Wait a minute. Don't fall back in your chair. No, I need you to sit up and come on and let's get this thing in. My whole point, what I've been saying is Jerry Jones football mortality is ticking right now. It's ticking. And you want to have your best player in Cabo, when you got the best team that you've had since the 90s, you're ready to go. They've been acquiring talent, building this team up. And now you might trick it off by not having your best player in the fold.
So help me understand. Are you saying that he should be the highest paid or he shouldn't? Because correct me if I'm wrong, you said he shouldn't be the highest paid.
Because he got years, he's not a free agent. Like everyone talks about Le'Veon Bell and Ezekiel Elliott in the same. Two different situations.
Marcus, do you think that he should be the number 1 paid running back in the NFL? Let us know before we gotta go.
He should be the highest paid running back. He got the most carries over the last 3 years. Wood just gave this beautiful soliloquy of why Ezekiel Elliott should be in the Cowboys camp
and
what they'll be able to accomplish.
Wood. How he gonna be the highest paid when he got 2 years left on the deal?
Because he the best running back over the last 3 years in the NFL.
Yep,
that's
Ezekiel
why.
Elliott, 2 of his last pro seasons, he led the league in rushing, including last year. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Last year led the league in touches. All right, make sure you guys join First Take on Friday in Texas. We'll have Molly, Stephen A., Max here. They'll be joined by Terrell Owens and DeMarcus Ware as well. All right, we'll get back. We'll have more to talk about,
Help
guys.
your boy, Ross.
We just starting.
We just
Help
started.
your boy.
We have a lot more to come
you know what time it
on
is.
First Take. Did the Packers make a mistake